Hello and welcome to part 2 of the history of apples. In this part, we will go through apples that became the foundation for many new varieties and apples of great historical significance. We will also talk more about modern apple breeding methods and new possibilities. But before we begin, we have one more definition to go through. First, we must define what a sport is. Within a woody plant species, branches mutate a lot. This results in variants within the same plant that have traits different from the main plant. What I am talking about may not make sense now, but it'll make sense later on in the video. But for now, let's talk about some of the great apples of history. The first apple I'm going to talk about is called Court Pandu Plat. This apple is known as the wise apple due to the fact it flowers later than most apples, allowing the flowers to avoid frost damage. This tree is also able to produce fruit before the first frost. This fruit has a flavor that is intensely fruity with pineapple notes. The fruit will mellow in storage a little bit, but not too much, so the flavor remains intense. I have actually tried this apple. Although it wasn't fully ripe, I could still taste some of the fruity flavors. Next on the hit list is the Nonpareil. The Nonpareil is a French apple and a poster boy for the pear drop flavor profile. This flavor profile is described as a pear-honey mixture. This cultivar was found in the 16th century, with some of its possible progeny including the famous European apple called Ashmead's Kernel, and the Roxbury Russet, one of the oldest American apples. The next apple is a really cool one called the Golden Pippin. This is an heritage apple with an intense fruity flavor. It was used for eating, drying, and making high quality hard cider. This cultivar went into decline due to the belief of the horticulture expert Thomas Knight. Thomas Knight observed that the variety was declining in vigor and fruit size. This may have happened due to virus load, due to long periods of grafting. There still exists a cultivar called the Golden Pippin, with the same described color, flavor, and size, but it is unknown if it is the same variety of old. Next on our hit list would be the Egremont Russet. Russets are my favorite type of apple. They are known for their sweet and nutty flavor. The Egremont Russet is no exception. I have had it many times and it tastes quite good. It was named after Lord Egremont of Petworth, Sussex, who had property where it was bred. The last apple on our list would be the Ripstein Pippin. This would be one of the most important founder apples in my opinion, because of how many apples can be traced back to this variety. It was first raised from a seed sent from France. It is known for its intense aromatic flavor. Many apples can be traced back through the lineage of the Ripstein Pippin, such as Sturmer Pippin and Cox Orange Pippin, both first-generation progeny of Ripstein Pippin. Cox Orange Pippin has been used extensively in breeding apples. A great many English apples have ancestry within Cox Orange Pippin, making this a very prolific lineage to be traced back to. Next, we must talk about the common founding apples used in cultivation and breeding as of today. Right now, there are 5 apple cultivars that play the biggest role in apple breeding. The 5 apples that act as parents or grandparents of many apples include Macintosh, Golden Delicious, Cox Orange Pippin, Johanthan, and Red Delicious. Of the 439 cultivars studied in a research paper by the Horticulture and Food Institute of New Zealand, 64% of these cultivars had the 5 cultivars mentioned in their lineage. Next, we must talk about the first founder apple on our hit list, the Macintosh. The first Macintosh apple was discovered by a fellow Canadian from Dundas, Ontario, by the name of John McIntosh. He found many apple seeds while clearing brush from his farm. He planted those seeds on his property, one of which grew into the Macintosh apple tree. John and his family managed to propagate and sell this variety. In time, the Macintosh became 40% of the Canadian apple market. Of the 439 cultivars found in that research paper, 101 of them have Macintosh in their lineage. Golden Delicious is a very popular supermarket apple cultivar, and the next apple on our list. This cultivar was discovered by a West Virginia farmer at the end of the 19th century. It is speculated to be a seedling of the Grimes golden apple. The patent for this cultivar was obtained by the Stark Brothers Nursery, who were impressed by its ability to yield well, grow well, and store well. 87 of the 439 cultivars found in that research paper have Golden Delicious within their lineage. The next apple on our list is the Johanthan apple cultivar. This cultivar was discovered as a chance seedling found on a farm in Woodstock by Philip Rick, the farmer. The cultivar went through many names like the New Spitzenberg and the Ulster seedling. It was then named Johanthan by Jesse Boole, the president of the Albany Horticulture Society, after Jonathan Hasbrook, who introduced Mr. Boole to the new cultivar. Of the 439 cultivars found in the research paper, 74 of them have Johanthan in their lineage.